The pieces of this puzzle are starting to come together, but there's still many questions, a number of questions that need to be asked. We now know that the President of the United States did not have any further communication with the Secretary of Defense, the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, on the night of the attack. We also know that the President spent an hour on the phone with Bibi Netanyahu concerning the Democratic Party platform. We know that the Secretary of State was on the phone, but the Secretary of State had not received the same warnings of a threat to our consulate that the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs and the Secretary of Defense testified that they had that information. We obviously know that one of the pieces of this puzzle that we haven't got, of course, is the talking points. Literally every different agency has said they were responsible for changing the talking points, and then they've retracted it. We still don't know. That will be a subject that will must be addressed for Mr. Brennan's confirmation as director of the CIA. The Department of Defense, despite all of these warnings, did not have DoD assets within any reasonable distance. The base at Crete is 330 miles away. And the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff testified that, well, he had a lot of other places to worry about. When you review the other places he had to worry about, none of them had the priority that the consulate in Benghazi had. It had already been attacked by an IED, the British ambassador, an assassination attempt. There was already an assessment, the only one, that said that the consulate could not withstand a sustained attack. So for 7.5 hours, the last hour of which 2 brave Americans died, nothing was done to try to either rescue or stop the attack. And then the President of the United States, in the political debate, chastises Mitt Romney for saying that the President didn't know what was going on. The President then, with vigor, said that he, of course, had called it a terrorist attack on the day after it happened. He didn't. He said, in fact, that it was an act of terrorism, and that very night, fortunately for us, CBS withheld the interview until after the election. That night, with an interview with CBS, he said, as Senator Ayotte just quoted, "We don't know." And he continued to say that for 2 weeks. Meanwhile, testimony to the committee, both General Dempsey and the Secretary of Defense said they knew it that night because of the nature of the attack. The American people deserve answers, and the American people haven't gotten answers. Now, we've gotten 2 movies about the raid that took out bin Laden. We've gotten every tick-tock moment as it took place, and yet we still don't know what the President of the United States was doing the night before of the attack and who he was talking to. We know who he wasn't talking to, but we don't know who he was talking to. So there's additional questions that need to be answered. We owe it to the families of those 4 brave young men to get the answers, and we are in contact with them, and they want answers, and they deserve answers. And these questions are still outstanding and need to be reconciled. And there's many in the media that say it's over, it's done with, nobody cares anymore. As long as those families want answers, we will be seeking answers.